Wow, what an update. So much has been changed and Christmas really has come early. We see loads of new handheld weapons, mech suits and flying robots, all of which profoundly changes gameplay. The major change in this update has been a complete overhaul of the talents, trees, and unlocks that each character receives in-game, with some of the skills turning your crew into a band of undead mega soldiers who can take on large monsters outside the submarine. The first change is some of the role-specific talents have now been split into 2 starting rows. For each of these, you must assign 2 talents before this unlocks the next row, again requiring 2 talents before you can select the specialization tree below. Once you have chosen a tree, you are locked in until you finish that tree. Upon completion, it will grant you access to another tree. You are, however, able to go back and choose additional talents from the first 2 rows as you progress, meaning you're able to unlock most of the talents the further you progress into the campaign. So be sure to read up, choose wisely, and play with lots of friends so you can split the amazing bonuses throughout the crew. If you are looking for multiplayer groups to play with, join the Discord, links in the video description below. The next set of changes all revolve around weaponry. First off, you can now craft the common weapons that before you could only buy from stations. This includes the revolver, SMG, and riot shotgun. The captain can craft the revolver and its ammo with the newly assigned talent gunsmith. The SMG and shotgun ammo can be crafted from a soldier with the skills munition expertise, and the SMG and riot shotguns can also be crafted from a soldier with the skill weaponsmith. Do note that the quality system applies to the weapons, so you will be able to get the masterwork versions of them. Let's take a look at some of the new weapons that have been added into the game. First, we have the machine pistol. This is a cheaper variant of the SMG that is harder to control, has a similar rate of fire, but with a much wider spread. Interestingly for this one, it's also a single-handed weapon, meaning you could be the one after all. It cannot be crafted, however, can be purchased from a city or military outpost after you reach the second biome. A quick note here about buying weapons: these have all been level gated and can only be bought after the level difficulty reaches a certain point. For example, the SMG can only be bought after the level difficulty reaches 30%, and the new machine pistol is at 15%. Next we have the rifle, a single shot long range weapon. This can either fire a 40mm explosive projectile or a single .3 caliber round. This thing can insta-kill a player with a headshot, and interestingly can be held within your inventory. It can be crafted by a soldier with the talent rifleman, or can be purchased from a city or military outpost after you reach level 15% difficulty. Next, for you Tropic Thunder fans out there is a brand new heavy machine gun, appropriately labelled EHMG. You can obtain this from a security officer who has maxed out the gunner's tree, or alternatively it can be bought from stations after you reach level 65% difficulty rating or higher. This thing absolutely shreds anything in its path and is probably the most overpowered handheld weapon currently in the game. In combination with the other soldier talents, this really is an unstoppable force to be reckoned with. Moving on, we have the arc emitter. This is available from the engineer with the skill lightning wizard underneath the electrician's tree. With the power of a battery, you can insta-stun multiple targets in a range of 15 meters for 5 seconds, and also provide burning for strength 10. This has the power to change the tide of a battle and is super useful on pirate or abandoned outpost missions. Next, we have the scrap cannon. This can be made by mechanics with the talent Iron Storm from the Scrapper tree. This is a close-range shotgun-like weapon that takes iron, steel, or scrap to deal a massive punch in close-quarter combat. This is a great addition to get rid of those hordes of iron that you and your crew have been stockpiling. Moving on, we have a new harpoon weapon, the Harpoon Coil Rifle. This can be bought from stations after 30% level difficulty has been reached, or can be crafted from a soldier with the talent Boarding Party from the Frogman tree. It takes a standard battery in addition to the regular harpoons. These fire at much higher velocities and do much more damage. You may have also noticed that harpoons fire with a rope. I only recently discovered if you hold right click after you hit a target, you can reel them to you. Next, we have some deadly weapons that the medic can craft. So be sure to save your sulfuric acid and alien blood, as some of these can almost one-shot a mud raptor. Acid syringes and a special item called the Europa brew can be made from a medic who has the talent Plague Doctor. The Europa brew, when applied to targets, reduces their resistance to acid damage, meaning that following up with an acid-based attack can do serious damage. In addition to this, if they get the talent What a Stink, they also gain access to acid, handheld and 40mm grenades. These will emit acid through a cloud that can take down targets in an area of effect very quickly. Make sure every time you throw an acid grenade, you leave a like on this video to dissolve some Mud Raptor armor. Finally, for the weapons section, some of the medium and large weapons have been upgraded to take a light source. No longer will you be aiming in the dark outside the submarine at monsters that hide in the shadows. In addition to all the new weapons, all the clothing in the game has had a revamp as well, just like my merch store. Now, even the most basic outpost dweller's attire provides some level of protection, and others provide bonuses to skills that will definitely see you pumping out the masterwork versions of tools much earlier in the campaign. Other existing clothing items have been reduced to balance this all out. Things like the pirate outfits are no longer the go-to for defense. Next, we have notable mentions of gameplay changes, most of which come from the mechanic. First of all, we have the retrofit talent that will allow you to buy one extra hull upgrade on your submarine. And the second is Iron Storm that will allow you to upgrade any submarine to a tier 3. This means you can now complete the campaign in a tier 1 submarine as long as you have one mechanic with this talent. And you can even push the hulls to 140% with the retrofit talent. Next is flying robots. The mechanic with this skill from the machinist tree is able to craft 2 autonomous flying defense robots. These will follow you wherever you go, including outside the submarine, meaning you can have an amazing fire team to take down swarms or large monsters outside the submarine. These robots cannot be repaired and require refills of ammunition, but they do regenerate their health over time. Finally, for the mechanic, we have the exosuit under the brawler tree. This is the largest of all the diving suits, with some very special features. The first, of course, is its amazing armor statistics, with 70% defense across the board for basic attacks against the wearer. It also has 10 extra carry slots, so with a cargo scooter and the exosuit equipped, you can carry an extra 21 items, which makes the wearer of the suit the pack mule for missions outside the submarine. To operate the suit, however, you will require a battery source, and unfortunately when this runs out, you move or swim very slowly. Next, let's look at the assistants. Under the apprentice tree, we have a talent called Logistic Systems that allows the creation of makeshift shelves that can be placed on your submarine. These will increase your cargo capacity by 2 for each shelf placed down, meaning more money per cargo mission. However, you will need to place these carefully as some cargo explodes when it comes into contact with water. You can relocate them with the use of a crowbar. Next, under the clown tree, we have a talent called True Potential. If you hit an unconscious player with a toy hammer, instantaneously they will be revived and provide the buff Combat Stimulant for Strength 50. For the medic, we also have a similar skill called Miracle Worker that's underneath the medic tree. This will not allow any of your crewmates near the medic to succumb to death, meaning this and the clown skill could turn you into a truly invincible force. Finally, I wanted to cover some smaller changes that also have impact on gameplay. The first of these is that submarines can now only be bought in different biomes at specific stations. For the first biome, you can purchase any tier 1 submarine at any station type. However, as you progress into the second biome, you will see that class-specific tier 2 submarines can only be bought at specific stations. As you work your way through the campaign and the difficulty increases, each station will begin to offer more options, allowing you to eventually purchase the tier 3 submarines. This provides more incentive to complete Beacon Station and Abyssal Monster side missions. Next, the Afflictions UI has also seen a small update. Buffs are now stacked in a hidden hover menu, and all icons are bigger overall. They also flash when you have an active injury, giving you a better indication of what to focus on when you're looking at your your statistics. Finally, fabricators also get a small update and will now allow you to set up a crafting queue for the same item to its maximum stack. For example, you can stack 8 oxygen cylinders, so you can queue up creating 8 at the same time. Let me know which one of the updates is your favourites in the comment below, and if I've missed out anything important. Until next time, peace. A huge shout out to all my supporters, especially the ones on Patreon and YouTube. Without you, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. Thank you. Wow, what an update.